Hello and welcome everyone back to another episode of Ezoic Explains. I am Tyler Bishop, and today we're going to be digging into aspects of your content that can help you grow your content, both the traffic and the revenue, significantly faster. In many cases, 2 to 3 times faster. So working more efficiently with the time that you have. So if you're creating content or you're working on trying to develop ways to optimize the revenue of your content, this is kind of a really easy way that you can work more efficiently. So here I am inside of Big Data Analytics, which is a free Ezoic analytics tool. So if you're using Ezoic, you can easily integrate with the platform and get into Big Data Analytics. And I've actually already got a report pulled up here, and I've gone into my reports, I've clicked on content, and I'm going to go down to categories. And inside of categories, right now we're seeing I've drawn this report from July 3rd to August 19th. You can draw it for any amount of time that you would like. And even though my chart's looking at page views, what I really want to look at is these columns. So these columns are showing all the categories on my site. So if you're using a WordPress site, you probably already have categories set up, or if not, you can really easily go back into your content and retroactively add that. Additionally, it's the standard format that anyone can use for meta categories and things like that on a website. So adding this information, even if you don't have it now, will allow you to collect this data over time. So if you don't have it right now, you can add it in, and in a month, you'll be able to start collecting all of this data. So in particular, I'm not all that interested in which categories are getting the most page views. However, I might be really interested in understanding which categories are producing the highest page RPMs. I also might be interested in understanding the number of articles in that particular category, especially if it has a high page RPM, and maybe even the average word count. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to pull these columns here over so that I can look at those, because those are more relevant to what I want to look at. Now, I might also say to myself, you know what, some of these categories probably don't get a lot of traffic, so what I should do is filter out the ones that don't. So I'm going to go ahead and exclude those with page views that are less than, let's say, 1,000 over this time frame. So that leaves me with still quite a few categories here. And so I've got my columns, and now I'm interested in figuring out which of my categories are producing the highest page RPM, meaning the revenue per 1,000 views. So let's look. Wow, my average page RPM is $14.10, but I can see here I have multiple categories that are 3 to 4 times more than that on average. So if I look here, I've got a couple different categories that are earning far more than the average, with one in particular that is nearly 3 to 4 times higher, and a couple that are more than double. So if I go over here, I can see I actually have quite a few articles here that are inside of this category, but not a huge percentage overall. So I've got 192 out of 18,000 articles on my site in this category. My average word count is around 2,000 words for these. And if you look here, a lot of my categories here at the top that are earning the highest page RPM, they're nearing that 2,000 word mark. Actually, the top 3 are above 1,500. And so if you look down here below, I've got multiple categories that are significantly below that. So these are really good portions of content that I need to be paying attention to. So these categories in particular are maybe some categories that I want to rate more content that would fall within these categories on my site. And additionally, I can pull my revenue category over, and I can start to take a look at what percentage of revenue total these categories are making up. So you can see here, this one that is my second highest page RPM category is making up 8% of my total revenue. But when you look at the highest earning one and the one below it, only 2%. So there's real opportunities here for me to write more content like this content. You could go a step further, and you could go down here as well. But then if we scroll down a little bit further, we can see these are the categories where we are below the average. And so here we've got a category where I've written a lot of articles, making up 13% of all my site in this category. And I've got 30 different categories here. So this one's taking up tons and tons of space, but it's producing a lower than average page RPM. And look, 2,491 words on average. So I'm writing more on these pages. I'm writing tons of this content, but it's making me less money. I should be focused more on some of these higher earning categories if I want to work more efficiently. And I can use things like word count and the percentage of revenue to help me decide whether or not my investment of time has paid off in this category over time, or if I should continue to do it or not, and how. So hopefully digging into categories inside of Ezoic's big data analytics has helped you a little bit in working more efficiently when designing and building out your content strategy. Thanks again, and we'll catch you next time on Ezoic Explains.